Hello, everybody. Are we live? Hello, hello, hello. I think we're live. I think we're live. Hello, hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, happy Sunday. Had a double check there. Hi, everybody. I am doing a spontaneous live. There we go. So I'm doing a spontaneous live. I didn't know I was going to go live today, but I was feeling it. And I've been feeling really inspired today. And I kind of wanted to share, uh, share my thoughts, do a brain dump, babe. And just kind of share my thoughts. So I put it out there, one, but also in case you want to know where I'm at, what I'm thinking, here it is, right? You're just gonna kind of see me put it together live. So, um, I titled this thing Operation Rising Tide. I literally came up with that like 20 minutes ago. Because it just seems fitting if you were around for Operation Rising Tide 2026. It was a very memorable, momentous milestone for the formation of HJP, and I kind of see the next 4 weeks being that as well. So I kind of, my health is not at 100%, but overall we're trending positive. Thank you, Tom, for verifying that we are looking good, sounding good. Church is here. What's up? All right. So I wanted to share this with you. You know, just in case you were there, in case you catch the live stream replay, just I have been kind of ruminating and marinating with these thoughts by myself, right? And I understand why I've been doing that, because my health has not been reliable for me to be reliable where other people can rely on me. But like I said, I am trending overall positive. I'm having more good hours throughout the day than not. Although yesterday I had really planned to show up to the new variety game event that we tried, but after dinner I was so insanely bloated that I felt like a beached whale and just had to vibe. So it's not perfect, but what's great about this morning is that my brain feels back to normal. It feels like just the ideas are flowing. I feel super motivated and I want to just get stuff done. So the fact that I'm having more of that is just like, I want to take action. I don't have all the answers. I'm not sure what the next 4 weeks are going to look like, but the fact that I feel this, like, I don't know, pull is exciting. So I just wanted to jump on that. So I have no idea, like, kind of what I'm going to uh, conclude today, but I thought I'd take you guys with me, and if you wanted to chime in, that would be awesome. So here's where we're gonna start for the starting point. Um, why Operation Rising Tide 2026? So when we did Operation Rising Tide last year, that we were not even a nonprofit. The idea of a nonprofit had not even, come to me yet. It really was. I mean, oh my gosh, it really was the start of shifting my goal as building a really, it was like my goal was like so um narrow, and then Operation Rising Tide allowed it to, really kind of open the door to what it is today. So back then I wanted to, start a YouTube channel, or, grow a YouTube channel um around video games, specifically Final Fantasy 14. This the same way that we all know, just, it's called HeatherJustPlay, because I wanted to just play and talk about video games and just kind of share my experience. And then obviously through the awesome people I was able to connect with through this channel, all of you guys, that really showed me that the thing that I was most interested in was this thing that I didn't realize that I really needed in my life, and enjoyed having in my life. And it's these, meaningful connections that I was able to make with all these amazing different people all around the world. And that's the thing that I wanted to give life to. But in order to do that, it really took a lot of effort, that I could not have done by myself, because, you know, to be able to shift the dynamic from like streamer to audience to community driven, that's like actually really, really hard to do. I can't do it alone, right? I need the community to also step up, right? And um that was very, very challenging. Um and I think, there's a lot of reasons for that. I think, like, for me, I chose to do this journey and be front and center and be camera on and want to build this thing, and no one else did, right? And so getting people to understand my vision and also sign on board for that, want to volunteer for that, want to put themselves out there for that, you are sacrificing, um I guess, like, I don't even know what to call it. You have to give up the luxury of anonymity on the internet to be able to put your name on this thing, right? Um, and that buy-in, that you know, that onboarding, that commitment, and um, pledge to wanting this thing to come to life, like, that had to happen over weeks and weeks, right? And then, as all of you guys know, hey Kevin, what's up? As all of you guys know, we eventually turned into a nonprofit, 501c3 nonprofit organization, which I'm so proud of. And then boom, October 2025 happens, and my health takes an insane turn that I completely did not anticipate, and I'm still struggling with. But like I said, I'm feeling overall better and more committed than ever to really truly believing that HJP can be an example of what the world needs in 2026. Kind of an example of leveraging all the positive benefits of digital creativity and connectivity, and being an example of the best of what can happen when you use these tools for good, right? And I came up with Operation Rising Tide 20 minutes ago because I was like, it kind of feels that it feels like a rising tide. It feels, I guess, like, for me, it is kind of standing back up again, trying to build momentum back up again, trying to build momentum, knowing that I'm not at 100% capacity, but it's like, what can I do with what I got? What can we do with what we have? And there's a perfect countdown to this. So last year, it was just, I think, February 15th or something to the end of March 31st. This year, we kind of have a perfect milestone deadline in the form of FanFest, which is October 20. Okay, let me get this exactly right. Or not October, sorry. April 23rd. April 23rd. So it's really nice to have a deadline. It's really nice to have a countdown. It's really nice to have just this, like, marker to my ADHD brain really, really likes that. So my goal, my vision, right? I haven't, like I said, I haven't really thought about this. Like, you're seeing me think about this in real time, but what I would like to do in the next 4 weeks in prep for FanFest. FanFest is going to be a huge milestone for HJP because so many of us are going to be able to meet in person for the first time, which is like, oh my God, I'm so excited about it. But also it's FanFest, which Final Fantasy 14 is the game that brought, 99% of us together. So that's really fun. That's really exciting. And it's just 4 weeks is just a nice window of time to do some kind of challenge, right? So the difference this time is, instead of, we don't need to do the shift from streamer to audience to community driven. Like, we've already done that. So, I'm not trying to, all right, guys, we got 10 events every week and, you guys all have to do lead and all that. What's amazing that I have seen in the last 4 months is HIP is kind of at the point where it is self-operating. Like, even if I take a step back, you guys are still doing stuff. Like the magic is still there. The meaningful connections and experiences are still there. You have set the example and you've carried it out. The ship is still sailing. We have many capable people who moderate, who lead, who guide, support. Like, that's all still happening, which is wonderful. But I think the thing that's missing, because the captain has been kind of KO'd, is being able to share what's happening. It's the outside piece, right? We all know why we're here. We all know why we continue to check the server and show up to HJP stuff. We know that. Even if you haven't thought about it or vocalized it, there's obviously a reason why you're watching the stream, right? Or watching this replay. There is something, you could be doing anything else, but you're here. The part that I want to explain, and the part that I feel like we are ready to explain to the world, is like why this matters, right? Why, in a digital world that's like feeling more fake, because of the prevalence of AI. Not that AI is inherently bad, but what I have noticed is that a lot of people are using AI to just batch create content, and it kind of seems like they've completely lost touch of the meaningful connection that can happen, because you have an AI that's creating your conversations for you. So you're not even really, you're not able to engage in the authentic way that HJP thrives on, right? And so, like, my vision for the next 4 weeks is, yes, personally, what I want to do is be able to get back to 100% capacity. I actually have like a fit for FanFest plan, because right now, if FanFest were next week, I honestly would not be able to. I don't think I could physically survive just like the social aspect, the sensory overload and the fatigue. Like, I can't survive a day doing nothing, let alone, being on and having fun and all that. So I have my Fit for FanFest plan, which is like, trying to wean off naps, and I want to be able to be fully present. So that's my own personal goal. I want to be like in the best capacity that I can be as the executive director of HeatherJustPlay. That's my goal. But the other part, the more important part, and the part that I'm hoping that we can kind of unite to do together, is I don't even know how to describe it. Sharing the story of HJP, sharing why it matters, sharing, okay, so here's an example. I saw a post. I forgot the account. I will refer to this account. I've been following them for a while, and I feel like there's a perfect collaboration there. Whoever runs this account is someone that would, fit right into HJP and just be a perfect either person or group of people to collaborate with. But it's something geek therapy, something like that. And they posted a clip from a podcast they did recently about how they hate when people talk about how, gaming friends and online friends are not real friends because it's online, right? And they hate that. And I hate it too. But rather than taking the approach of like, I hate it when people say that, I really do think that people think that because they've never had they don't know. Like, they've never had the experience where they've built a meaningful relationship that can feel as real as an IRL friendship, relationship, whatever, right? And so they just don't know any better. They're going to assume you're just, I don't know, shooting people in game in a first person shooter. How the hell is that going to turn into real friendships, right? But what I want HGP to do is just show the example. Like, rather than saying that we hate it when people don't understand, how can we make people understand, right? How can we make them see that uh the memories that we're making are just as real. You know, like I can tell you, like even in the past 4 months when I've been totally KO'd, I can tell you like how much fun it was to do the Dawn Trail, the final Dawn Trail trial and dungeon with HJP folks. I can tell you how much fun it was to play Lethal and Peak and Repo and, you know, watching the RV game there yesterday. These are all memories that I recall the same way that I recall when I go to happy hour with people in real life, or when I, you know, go to someone's birthday or whatever. It's the same thing, right? And the more that we can, instead of saying we hate, you know, like, instead of saying like, oh, we just don't like it when people misunderstand. Well, we're not really giving people a chance to understand, right? And it doesn't have to, you know, I think HJP has the capacity to fold people in. Um, you know, I do think that as a lifelong gamer, you know, sometimes it's hard for me to understand just how wide the gap is uh for non-gamers to jump into gaming. You know, it's a huge gap. Things that come naturally to us do not come naturally to people who have never played games before. And there was a perfect example of it last night, which I hope Maker doesn't mind me uh, sharing this example. But they were playing a game called Are We There Yet? Where the premise of the game is to work together to move this RV to, you know, you're supposed to like drive the RV to your destination basically, and everything goes wrong on the way. And so you're supposed to work together to, you know, overcome the challenges, blah, da, da, da. And Maker was trying to figure out how to sit in the RV. And I think it comes naturally to us that whatever the interact button is, you know, on the controller, it's X, on your Switch, it's B, on your keyboard, it's E. Like, we just know that from years of explaining. But not only do we know that, we know to overlay the cursor on the thing that you want to interact with, right? And that is the piece that no one was explaining to Maker yesterday. Everyone in the group was just like, push E, push E. So of course he's just standing there pushing E, thinking that E means sit. No, E means interact with the object. It doesn't mean sit, right? So if you hover over the chair, you will sit, but E does not mean sit. That is a perfect example of why people don't understand. It's not that they don't want to, it's just like there's such a shared language that is there's no, you know, it's like when you're learning a language, okay, for example, I learned Japanese. There's textbooks, there's classes, there's, you know, curriculums, there's all different ways to learn this language, and there's a way to teach it. There is no curriculum or way to teach the language of you know, the language that we speak and use to interact with online video games, right? So anyway, all that to say, what I would like HJP to do in the next 4 weeks is to share these things of, you know, your perception of online video games might be kids acting violent, immaturity, prepubescent teens, like energy drinks, a lot of screaming, toxic behavior. Like, that might be the general perception of video games. And that exists. That totally exists. But what I want HJP to do is to shine a light over here to the thing that is not necessarily the loudest and the most glamorous and the thing that draws attention on a massive scale. It's the things that I feel like have more meaning and have more lasting impact, but it's not things that people talk about because they're so ordinary. You know, it's like there's nothing special about, for us it's so normal. Like, there's nothing special about going out to happy hour with your friends. Just like there's really nothing special that we raid 4 times a week or whatever. But to other people who have never experienced that, the fact that we bring people together from different parts of the world, different time zones to overcome this shared goal. Like that's amazing, right? Um and what I want to do, right? So as I'm thinking about Operation Rising Tide, what I want to do is be the voice that describes that and shares that, because I do feel like I have a way that um I don't know, disarms people and lets people understand. I feel like people are more willing to give me the benefit of the doubt versus like um a white guy in his 30s, right? Like I think you're whatever. We can think about why, but who cares? It doesn't matter. I do feel like I get a chance, and I want to be able to leverage that benefit of the doubt of like, no, there's really something special happening here. On like the flip side is I want your examples, right? I want HJP members to try to explain it. And if you have to go through me, right? If you have to explain it to me so that I can explain it to the lay person, the non-gamer, the world, then yeah, I want to do that, right? What that's going to look like, am I going to break it down into challenges and events and whatever? No. I don't, I'm not in the capacity to be able to do that, but that's what I would like to do, is kind of put together the goal, right? Like that's the goal. And we do have committed volunteers, right? We have officers, we have members who are in this. And I do feel like if we were able to take like 10 minutes from 20 members, that's a lot of time, right? That we can achieve stuff in, a day or a week or whatever, right? So does that make sense? Like, I'm not really sure what that's going to look like. I'm still thinking about it. But that's what I want to be able to look back on when we get to FanFest, right? So even if you're going to FanFest or not, like it's not about going to FanFest. It's just that is just a nice convenient marker of time where, we set a challenge, 4 weeks, boom, we can look back. And what I would like to see, right? What I would like to see 4 weeks from now is all of these stories and experiences of, the mission in action, right? The personal growth, the meaningful connections, the creativity, the real relationships that are being made here through HJP and through this very unique way, right? And I will say, I'll never forget, like every time I talk about HJP to non-gamer people, right? It's the same people that also think like, oh my yeah, video games are violent or whatever. I know you think that, but when I describe it, you don't think that, right? So, like, what can we do to, what I definitely don't want to do is to try to like justify our existence. Like we don't need to justify our existence, right? Like no, we don't need to explain why we do what we do to anybody in order to do it. And I think most of us, I think I could speak for everyone in HJP that like, we're older, we have life experience, we're grown adults. Like that is not what this is about. But I think we could also understand the advocacy aspect, maybe the advocacy, the awareness, the helping people understand something that is very hard to explain unless you've been there, right? And I've always said this from the beginning, the diversity is such a strength of these digital tools, right? The fact that we bring people together from all walks of life is a strength of social media, digital media, all of these things. But the thing that I feel like is often highlighted when it comes to social media is all the toxic things, right? I want to show all the positive things that are happening. There are so many times where I tell Tom, like, look at what's happening. Like, look at this. Here's what this person did. Isn't this amazing? Blah, blah, blah. He does the same thing. And it's like, well, if we're sharing it with each other because we think it's cool, shouldn't we share it with the world, right? Um, so I have a lot of ideas on how to do that, and I'm recognizing that as the leader of this thing, like I need to corral and kind of like direct how we're going to channel this into that, right? And so what I would like to do is well, actually, you know what? Before I get into that, let me check in with the comments just to make sure. Hello, everybody. So if you are just tuning in, I don't know, I just went to a place explaining stuff. Cirilla, good morning, afternoon. Hello, hello. Tom is saying I'm right. I don't know what you're referring to, but it's the truth always. uh, would you like me to draft 3 ways AI affects online relationships? If you want, I could tell you the one way that blah, 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 blah. Gma's here. Hello, hello. Violet, most people come from the privilege of being someone who fits into the norm. And when you are an outsider in any way, it means you need to find alternative ways to connect with people. I think, yes, 100% agree. And this is a really good example of the stories I'm talking about with HJP, because I know that this right here, most people come from the privilege of being someone who fits into the norm. And when you're an outsider in any way, it means you need to find alternative ways to connect with people. That's what HJP does for a lot of its members. It does that for me in certain ways, and also, like, it doesn't. But that's what I'm talking about, is that all of us are getting different things from this experience, whether it is a sense of belonging, whether it is connecting with like-minded people that you wouldn't cross paths with in real life, whether it's, even the spontaneous hangouts. I have friends and family. Heck, my freaking brother, I only see like a couple times a year because we live far apart. So it's like I have these real relationships in real life where I've seen the person, I've hung out with a person in person. But honestly, I think at this point I've spent more time with HJP folks because of the accessibility, the ease, to be able, I don't have to travel anywhere, I don't have to pay anybody. I just sit here and we play games and we're having the best time of our lives. We're cracking up, we're making inside jokes, we're making memories. You know, to me, it's real. To me, it's the same. And that's what I get out of it. That's a huge thing of what I get out of it. But that's why I want to see what all of you, like what every member gets out of it, because there are so many different reasons that, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. I want to amplify that because I know it's something that people would connect with, regardless if you play video games or not. Like everyone can relate to that feeling of feeling like they're an outsider. Everybody, right? And Tom 100% agrees. Jquit is here. What's up? Good to see you. Violet says gaming, by the way, includes playing Minesweeper, Jeweled, Solitaire, etc. Action gaming or RPG games are just another form of play. Humans need play. Yes, that too. Oh man, that's a whole if you take away the social aspect of HJP's mission, yeah, humans need play, and for some reason it stops when you become like an adult. For some reason, playing as an adult is actually discouraged instead of encouraged, and I don't know why. I have no idea why. So yeah, there's so many ways that we can so many different ways to explain the impact of HJP. And I think being able to amplify all of our diverse voices as to the magic of what we get out of HJP that's what I want to do for the next 4 weeks, right? If that is in the form of Instagram posts, videos, blogs, like I don't really care, I just want to be able to look back 4 weeks from now to see a plethora of stories of here's a tangible thing that explains what we do and why it matters. Does that make sense? Da Vinci's here. Howdy, HJP. Hope everyone is having a great day. We're having a great day. Hope you are too. So that's kind of what's on my mind right now. We don't have to make it a super official thing or anything, Operation Rising Tide, but like to me, you know, I one of the things that I've been beating myself up about for the last 4 months is I do feel like I kind of killed the momentum, right? And you know, it is what it is, and it doesn't matter. Everyone knows that that was not in my control. What matters is I would like to bring that I would like to get that momentum back, right? And I just feel like a 4-week window with a very defined um timeline is good. One thing and okay, so what this is going to look like, I don't know. And I have been trying to brainstorm this in the past week of like what is the thing that I can do to make sure that even on my worst days this happens, right? Um that's for me this is a two-part plan because I have my like Fit for Fan Fest plan, right? So what I'm doing personally is just trying to incorporate as much movement in the day as possible. So even on the days where I feel like absolute crap, um I can still close my rings on my watch. I can still, like, we just got a walking pad, been watching a lot of K drama. And so I can, instead of just sitting there, I can walk at the slowest stroll pace and still get the movement in. Cause I know FanFest is going to be a lot of walking. I bought a weighted vest because I'm going to have my backpack. And, it's like I'm building up to that. So I have all these things in place where even on my worst days, I can still make progress toward my Fit for Fan Fest plan, right? That is what I would like to try to explore with HJP. Is like, even on my worst days, can we still share the stories of HJP? Yes, I believe that we can. And I do believe that it can be done even when I am not 100% like present or reliable. There are things that I just have to show up for, right? Like one of the goals that I would like to do is come out with a new podcast episode for each one of the podcasts that we have. Um, for the other four, I need to be there because I'm the co-host. So there are things, that 100% rely on me, but there are also things that, like, for example, blog posts, right? Like, even, okay, here's Violet, I'm not telling you to do something. I'm just giving you, it's just an example. But to go back to this, like, most people come from the privilege of being someone who fits into the norm. And when you are an outsider in any way, it means you need to find alternative ways to connect with people. Right here, this is a perfect prompt for a blog post, right? Just for somebody to explain this, right? Like, if Violet, if you wanted to explain, just that's what you start with, this sentence, and boom, you just explain what that means. Like, there's no right or wrong, right? We're not, like I said, we're not trying to justify our existence. All we're trying to do is tell, right? Just share exactly what's happening, right? And what I am trying to tell myself is I don't have to do anything new because we already have a year's worth of experiences to draw from, right? So even on my worst days when I just like cannot get out of bed, I can still talk about how awesome it was to celebrate our wedding anniversary in game and everyone dressed up in a theme of purple and blue. And it was, to me, it was just as memorable as having like an anniversary in person. I don't, like, what else would I want? Obviously I'd like to meet with everyone in person, but I'm still recalling it almost a year later. So there are so many, from big to small, different things that kind of explain, like, this is cool, right? Like, this is a cool thing. I can see how it just is a net positive on the world, right? So one of the things that I know I can reliably do, I've already committed to this, is Kat Mulvihill, who is um one of HJP's board members. She is running a co-working cohort that starts this Monday. Um And it's, she also has ADHD, and so body doubling for her is uh very effective. She's found it to be very effective for her. And so she has structured her, I forgot what you call it, momentum sessions or something like that. I should totally like plug the website and stuff like that in case you guys are interested. But there's a check-in session every Monday. So every Monday, 7:30 a.m., the whole group is going to meet on Zoom for 20 minutes to set the intention for the week. And then every Monday and Wednesday afternoon from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're all going to do co-working. We're all going to get on Zoom and we're going to work on that intention that we set at the beginning of the week. And what I plan to do on the Wednesday session is do the co-working session that I did last week, right? I'm going to log into Final Fantasy 14. I'm going to go into the mess hall. And that is when I am going to, I'm going to body double with Kat's cohort thing and also with HJP in the mess hall if you would like to join. I'm scared to death because that is the first like time commitment that I have set since I got sick. And I'm still, I'm scared to commit to a thing, but like I have all these like, okay, if I'm feeling really good, here are the high energy things I could work on, and if I'm feeling really crappy, here's like super low effort things that I can work on during that window. But if you would like to join, right, this Wednesday co-working session, that is when you could write a blog about HJP. That is, I mean, I can even, we can make videos in game because like I'm just gonna mute in the Zoom thing, so I can show up to the free company house. You can log in with your character. And there are so many questions. Like I can ask you the question of like, what are some good questions? Actually, I have like a bunch here that I wrote down. Just like testimonials as to HJP, video games, what you get out of the experiences here, and then I could just record your character, right? Like with the voiceover, and boom, there's something that we can post on YouTube, on Instagram. And obviously you don't have to do the editing. I just need your voice and your Final Fantasy 14 character, right? Or you can sit in the mess hall and write a blog about why do you keep I will come up with better questions. Like, why do you keep showing up to HJP? What is it about this community that's different? Um, what is the difference between HJP and social media? That's a really good question, right? Because actually, one of the things that I have also been thinking about is the World Happiness Report for 2026 just came out last week. And if you don't know what this is a, it's a global organization that puts out this happiness report every single year, and it ranks it by country. The US has gone down. I don't think anyone's surprised there. And Finland is still the happiest country based on their, factors, whatever. But I messaged Maker, Stefan, who is my co-host on the lobby, and I was like, yo, we need to talk about this thing, because even though this report is not about video games, it's not about digital anything, happiness is something that HJP cultivates, right? Happiness, well-being, and a huge part of the World Happiness Report. Actually, here, you know what? Let's pull it up. World Happiness Report. Like I said, we're gonna do like a whole episode on this. But just if you want to see what this is, okay, you just Google World Happiness Report. They had a live stream on Friday. I meant to live stream that actually. I was gonna watch it and stream it, but I couldn't sleep that night, so here we are. Anyway, executive summary. Happiness and social media. Social media was a huge, look at this, in chapter 2, social media. Chapter 3, social media. Chapter 4, health and technology. Chapter 5, social media. Chapter 6, social media. Chapter 7, social. It is a huge part of happiness, right? And I would not put social media, like I wouldn't put Discord in that category, but I know everyone else will. Like most people, the non-gamer person would think social media as like anything, any kind of online community platform, blah, right? And yes, social media is harming adolescents at a scale large enough to cause changes at the population level. Um, problematic social media use and adolescent well-being, the role of family, social, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of, valid concerns when it comes to social media. And that's why I want to come in, guys. I want to come in and be like, here is a positive way to use social media, right? I'm going to say digital media because I do think there is a difference between Instagram and Discord. But I feel like what I do when I use social media is take the Discord approach to social media, right? But I think everyone has a different experience, right? And this is what I want to say. If the World Happiness Report like asked me to chime in on how social media has affected my happiness, geez, like it would be completely skewed because I'd be like the happiest person. Like it definitely makes me depressed. The news can have a negative effect, but I'm also like, I don't know. I have used the internet long enough to like detect whether something is making me anxious and something is making me anxious or happy, right? And this is why I think this is a huge reason why we constantly come back to HJP, because it does the opposite of making people feel like doom scrolling, right? When you doom scroll, you could just feel yourself like, oh, you're just ah. But when you go through HJP, we're laughing our butts off, dude. Like not only are we laughing our butts off, we're creating clips and we're laughing about it again the next day and the next day and the next day and the next month and the next, like literally a year later, we're still recalling those super fun memories that we had. These memories that we're making pay off dividends, right? It's not just like it's not just the time, 6 to 8 p.m. that you're hanging out. You recall that and it contributes to your happiness over time every time you recall that memory. These are the things that I kind of, I want there to be evidence of, because it is happening, but like, we're kind of just existing in our own little corner right now, which is awesome. But I feel like the whole point of turning us into a nonprofit is to amplify that, right? To shine a light on it. We didn't have to, right? But I think it's important. I think it matters. I think, like I said, I think it could be an example. I can see how like the World Happiness Report would be very interested in what we're doing here, because we're kind of this antidote to the negative effects of social media, because it's real, right? Like, but instead of saying like, oh, I hate it when people, don't, I hate it when people think that we're not having real relationships. Well, yeah, they're going to think that if they've never had a real relationship develop in this way, right? Which is why we can show them. Like, we need to show them, right? Through blogs, through videos, through pictures, through Instagram, whatever, right? I don't even care how we do this. If I just go live and I, go to the free company house and all you guys just share stories and it's just like a kumbaya, then I can just clip all that and boom, like that. Whatever is the easiest way to share those stories, that's what I want to lean into. Yeah, and it's just really surprising to me that social media is such a huge part of the World Happiness Report. This factors in like, GDP and like socioeconomic status, and boom, social media is in the headline of every single chapter. That is, it's funny because like people will say, oh, online relationships aren't real. Yet we all know that the data exists that shows that social media has a real impact on our person and our well-being. So how could you say that that the relationships aren't real, but they have a real effect on us, right? Um, but again, there's no point. There's no point in being the person who just screams and stomps their feet and says, "No, it's real. It's real." No, we don't need. Again, we don't need to. We're not trying to convince anybody. Okay, that is, uh, that is the path to anxiety. When you're trying to convince someone who doesn't want to be convinced. I feel like we all know what that's like. We've seen that in comment sections. We've seen that with Final Fantasy 14. I don't have to tell you why Wuklamot is the best character in 14. If you want to think that she sucks, fine. That is not an argument I want to get into. But what I want to do is tell you why I think Wuklamot is awesome. I'm going to tell you why I like her, why she inspires me, why I admire her, and you can disagree and agree and whatever, but the point is I want to share what's happening, share things from our perspective. Does that make sense? I'm rambling. I recognize that. Let me tap in here. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Cirilla says this will be really fun to explore HJP and online gaming with a community has been such an interesting experience. Excited to see what we can come up with in the next 4 weeks regarding this. Yeah, so that's what I want to do is like, you know, I'm not sure what it's going to look like. Like, I'm not sure if, you know, one of the things I was thinking about is this. Let's see. Boom. This is a mind map, right? So I was going to kind of create a map that we could all look like so that if you need some like an idea of what to, you know, share a testimonial about or a story, like you have a bucket that you could put it in. But I don't even know if this is the best way to do it. I think what I would like to lean towards doing in true gamer fashion, right? Because this is proven. I know it works for everyone here because we're all gamers. Is an Adventurers Guild quest board, right? So imagine if this was a quest board, right? So you open up your quest log, your journal, and boom, there's just a list of all these things that you need to check off, right? Obviously, you can pick which one you want to do. But if I can make it as specific as possible, everything from, you know, let's talk about this, kind of explain this in the context of 14. We're going to have the super easy quests where, hey, kill the 3 ladybugs right outside Ul'dah, all the way to, what's not a spoiler? All the way to an 8-person trial. You know, killing Ifrit or something. No, it's not even an 8-person trial anymore. You know what I mean, right? Where it takes time. You have to do a little bit of stress, like raid, okay? So on this quest board, what I would like to do is, you know, we've got the, I don't want to say kill the 3 ladybugs. Craft 4 shirts, okay? Craft 4 shirts for the Weavers Guild. You could do that alone. You could do that anytime. It's very low effort. You could probably do it in 20 minutes. Like, it's super easy, right? I want to have stuff that's low effort and easy, all the way to raid difficulty, where you have to, you know, you would have to like coordinate times. You would have to coordinate with other people. It just takes a little bit more effort to like create that thing. So you can go, you know, log in and go to the Adventurers Guild, and boom, we've got our board, and you can pick what you want to participate in, right? I want to make it as easy as possible, from the person who's the most active in HJP to the person who logs in like once a month, for every single person to be able to share some kind of story that explains what we're doing here, right? So what my job is because I can share it all day, you know, like and I have been, and I will continue to do these like types of streams where I'm talking about it. Um, that I'm not worried about me. The thing that I really, really would like is HJP members. It's the diversity. It's the way that you explain it, right? Like, because I don't know what you know. I don't know what you know. Yeah. Um, I don't want to. I want you to explain it in your words, right? And if anyone here has a fear of, um, you know, the sound of their voice, not speaking perfect English, not having good writing skills, any of that. Let me tell you, in the age of AI, like this is strength. Okay, there is a reason why I intentionally use like conversational lowercase grammar when I type, because I want to disassociate perfect grammar with uh effectiveness of communication, right? Anybody can throw something into chat and make it look grammatically perfect. That does not necessarily add to the substance of what is being communicated, right? So if you are scared of, like, you don't want to put your voice out there for whatever reason, I totally understand. Then write something, right? Or like get someone else to describe it, right? Like I am happy to do whatever is in my power to help share these stories. I just want to make it as easy as possible. So I don't want to put a number on it. I was thinking, like, I don't know, we can try to get 20 stories in the next 4 weeks or something like that. Um but I think it's a good that's what I want to focus on for like Operation Rising Tide 2026. And what's cool, like I said, is, you know, internally HJP, like we're doing our thing. We're doing our thing. We don't like we can always come together and brainstorm, like, hey, let's you know, do a fashion show for spring or something, or let's do hide and seek, or let's do St. Patrick's lethal session, or let's do the ladies day parade or something, or there's all these different events that we can do to get people to come together. But we know that, like, we're at the point where that's not necessary. Like back a year ago, we needed to do that because no one knew anybody. We didn't have a foundation. We needed to create the party in order for people to come to the party. But now the party, it's like it's on 24/7, right? So that, like, if we want to do that, if anyone wants to do those things, you already know how to do that, right? Like, you can make that happen. You can create your own events. We had one yesterday. Suan did the RV there yet. Boom. Like, it's that easy, right? Um, but it's the external part. It's the part where we're explaining to, organizations like ECAM that sponsored, that donated a significant amount of money to us, $1,000, because they believe in this cause, right? And that's what I'm talking about. I know it's a worthwhile cause. I know it. But it's like, it's the sharing it part. It's the stories. So I feel like I was supposed to make a point and I lost it. Let's see. I'm buying Just Dance and a Switch boxing game to help with exercise. Yes, let's go. I have thought about getting Just Dance a lot, but my walking pad is just, Tom and I have just been so into K-dramas. So, for the first time I think ever in my life, I hit 10K steps yesterday, and it was like actually relatively easy just because the walking pad is there. And so we cannot walk outside because we are at record breaking temperatures, scorching temperatures right now. So the boys can't walk on the asphalt. It's super, super hot. But I can still walk in here and get the steps in. Anyway. But yeah, Tom loves Just Dance. Oh, actually, I wanted to get the boxing game. I've looked at it a couple times. It looks super fun. We have we only used it once, but we got the I don't even know what it was called. It was like the Ring Fit. It's like it was like a ring for the original Switch. We used it once. And it was cool, but like I don't know, we never used it again. The Jaguar, what's up? Good to see you. Speaking of podcasts, fires up video editing program. Maple, good to see you. Hello, hello. I have talked a lot today. I wish I could do a TLDR, but I'm a long form person. Yeah. Coming to HJP to connect. Other social media is such a mood killer for me personally. Yes. Okay. So see, even there, what is the difference between your experience with social media versus your experience with HJP? Trying to put that into words, trying to explain that is it. It's a deeper discussion, right? I do think there's, in order to like think about it and vocalize it, does take effort. And so that's why I want to give you all the opportunity. Like, okay, if you need to do body doubling, if you want like the blogging sessions where we can all write blogs together, boom, every Wednesday for the next 4 weeks, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to be in the mess hall, our free company mess hall, and I'll also be in Discord. Or if not, I can't decide whether I'm going to YouTube or Discord. It's probably actually going to be YouTube now that I think about it, but there's an opportunity for you to write, right? The other things that I really liked, I want to make more of these, because these are super easy for me to make. Is so not it. Hold up, what am I doing? Instagram is let's see, these, boom. Here's Arcana. It's just like talking about HGP. HGP has just been like the best group I've been with ever in any gaming space. There's so much unity. There's so much helping other people, looking out for each other, and exactly what I do. But it's a whole community that's doing that too. We have here from Marky, Jiro, Hifumi, Veti. Just like, and I love this because your character is on there, right? And even if it's like, I don't know, you're using like your lethal character, a repo bot, a semi bot, whatever. Like, I like to show, if you want to put your face, awesome. But if you don't want to put your face, there's plenty of different, you have ways to put like a face to the name kind of thing. These are the things that I'm talking about. I want somebody who, has never heard of HJP before to come here to this account, right? And be able to be like, oh, so this is what they do. Like, let me get an idea, let me get an idea of what this organization does. Here's some of the events that they do. Here's whatever, like, this is like, so I need to update this. This is what I'm talking about. Because the last thing I actually really posted was Phasmophobia in October. So, personally, what I was trying to think is like, okay, I can try to post daily, right? Because even if it's a text post, even if it's getting a quote from you guys, then, what's 4 times 7? That's like 28 posts that I could, we could look back on a month from now. That's awesome. That's so much opportunity for people to understand what it is we're doing here and why it matters, right? Because right now the alternative is nothing. So yeah, actually let me keep going with the comments. Violet, the problem with most social media is that it's unregulated and platforms rage bait as a way to drive engagement. Yes, there's many problems with social media. That is a huge problem with it. And what I want to do, what I would like HJP to do is, rather than talk about the problems with social media, I want to talk about the positives of HJP, right? Because there are organizations that are doing this, right? Boom, you've got the World Happiness Report is all over this. They're already identified. Like, everybody there's so many people who have done studies on the harm. Okay, here's a better example. There are a lot of studies on the harmful effects of video games, right? Which really is one of my biggest pet peeves in life is, people doing studies on how harmful video games can be, because no one does studies on how positive and enriching and helpful video games can be. Now they're doing it. It wasn't true like 30 years ago. But that's what I'm saying is I want to show the positive effects. There's people already doing the harmful. Like, what is the antidote to this, right? Like, if we know that most social media is unregulated and platforms rage bait as a way to drive engagement, what is the opposite of that? What is HJP doing that is like the opposite of that? That is an example of like the antidote to that problem. That's what I want to kind of show. Let's see. Drive positive engagement. Heather calling me out like that. I forgot what I was saying. Authenticity is always better than perfection. 100%. Maple. I've taken up archery since joining. Also got a kayak on sale recently so I can use it in the summer. Oh, that's so cool. We do not have any bodies of water around us except for the Salton Sea, which is not... I don't think you're supposed to go in there. I just want more space so that I can play Beat Saber. Yes. I wish I could do VR, but it trips my vertigo. Yeah. Tom just did Sense Arena, which is like the hockey VR right now, like before I was streaming. And he does it every time he has a hockey game, and it helps. I need to take a pic and put it in the Discord sometime. I tried taking a selfie on vacation while in the water, but I was so focused on paddling, I look cross-eyed in the photo. It's all good. I'm so bad at taking selfies. I always look mad. Let's see. Social media can be nice if I super regulate my Tumblr and YouTube and Reddit to just the communities of things I'm interested in, but things will leak in that don't feel great, like Vi. Yeah, agreed. Oh, like Vi mentioned. But with HAP, I don't have to worry about having to be careful in particular. We're just naturally chill and just being people being people. Yes, people being people. Exactly. Because, I there's something there where, in a true community, no one is trying to like grow a following, even me, right? Like I'm not trying to grow a following for me in HJP. I'm trying to just spread awareness of what's happening here, right? And so there's not this like the system that encourages clout chasing and rage baiting is non-existent, right? Like so like that's kind of irrelevant to us. And so what happens when you strip that away, right? Like if you take away all the bad things about social media, what are you left with? There's a lot of positive. There's a ton of positive. That's the stuff I want to talk about. I know there was a study that proved Wii Sports actually assisted people struggling with Parkinson's. Okay. BRB because Ben wants to leave. You want to go outside? Okay, so I realize I've been streaming for like an hour now. So here's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do just to start, because I probably have to eat lunch soon. Is the goal is to for Operation Rising Tide 2026, the goal, if I were to like identify what the goal is, it's to share the positive impact that's happening in HJP. The problem is like I feel like when I talk about it, it's too like esoteric, right? If I were to ask you like, oh, share the positive impact of HJP, you guys are gonna be like, what? Like, it's too like vague. It's too esoteric, right? But if I were to tell you like, Um, you know, what is I don't know, what was your favorite memory of HJP? Um, what was something you tried for the first time with HJP? Um, what's unique about HJP? I need to think. I have to like think about the way. If you already know how to answer that question, what is the positive impact that HJP has on you? Cool. For everyone else, though, I feel like getting more specific is going to be very helpful, right? Because when you have like people need parameters to be able to describe something coherently, right? So yeah, it's I have to think about what that looks like. And so I think, you know, personally what I'm going to try to do is post daily on the HJP Instagram. And the reason is because whatever content I share on the HJP Instagram can be used for anything, right? Like if I were to ever do a talk in person to explain what HJP does, I would pull up the slides, the photos, the quotes, all of that I created for Instagram. I would be able to like use that in these presentations. I would be able to use that, I'd be able to print them out. It's like that content is repurposable. So for me and my ADHD brain, it's just like, yeah, just create it for Instagram. We can make it pretty for whatever situation later. And it's an easy checkable thing because it's a daily thing and it's, free to post on Instagram and yeah. So that's what I would like to do because even if I just posted what is on like what I'm thinking about, I would have a ton of like I would have I have like an infinite source of content, right? But the other half is the rising tide, right? It's the members. I want to be able to share the diversity, the different voices, the different experiences, because we're all having different experiences. This is what's important to me. This is not, for you, it might be something completely different for, and there's a lot of people in HJP where like I don't even cross paths with because we interact with it in a different way. We go to different events, we play different games. So like I have no idea, I have no idea like what someone is taking away from HJP, and I would love to know, right? So it's two parts, right? I'll share what I think, and I want to amplify what the members think. And if like trying to do that, um, okay, here. What if let me just do this right now. Okay, boom. Let's just see what happens. Oi, Operation Rising Tide 2026. Okay, so let's see. I don't even know how to like get this out. um okay, goal, share member voices and stories. That is the goal. Okay, and how we do that, we're gonna have super easy things and not super hard things, but like easier things, and then okay, let's see, okay, here formats. Let's do formats, and we have blog posts for website. Create a sibling. We want to create a sibling. Yeah, blog post for website, Instagram posts. Well, actually, let's do photos, screenshots for Instagram. Quotes for text posts. Video clip. Let's see, game video clips from in-game with voiceover. Yeah. Okay, so it's like that, or meet the crew podcast with Heather. I want to get that going. I want to get that going. I would love to do an episode a week. You think it's possible? Because then we get 4 episodes by FanFest, which would be awesome. Like, to be able to share 4 member stories on a deeper level, wouldn't that be so cool? And then let's do should I call these? So let's just call them sessions for now. Wednesday co-working in the mess hall, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. PST. Can work on whatever. I would like to what I would also like to do is a time to create videos. And I'm imagining like when you go into 14 and I'm in G pose or whatever and you are looking at me with your character and then you're doing a voiceover as you're explaining something, right? That I want to try to plan that too, but I don't know if I can commit to like a weekly time. So I'm just going to say video testimonials in the FC house. And I will just try to schedule these in advance. My goal is every Monday during that intention session with Kat's cohort is like what I would like to do is try to plan the week as much as possible. The problem is like I can't, like sometimes I just can't. And if I can't, I can't. That's just, I don't want to beat myself up, but I'm putting it out there. We're just setting intentions. Let's see. We used to have quote of the day on some of the communities I was in. Yeah, I would love that. I think that would be awesome. And we totally can do that. We have enough members, we have enough stories, we have enough events to talk about. A channel that is filled with quotes from the community. Yeah, see, I was thinking this too. We can schedule it, and if you need a backup person to host, maybe. My hesitation is for the video testimonials. Like I would need to edit it, and I don't want to. Editing is not something everyone wants to willingly do and takes a lot of time. But for me, I can do that kind of. Okay, here we go. Here's the thing. Okay. So what if we did like I don't know, say every Friday we did like a recording session in the Free Company House. If I can't be there for some reason, say Violet, you'd be down to record the voiceover of, and let me show you an example of what this looks like. Do I have it? Do I have her? Okay, I don't have her, but I'm gonna go to the countdown screen really quick and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about, okay? Right? So like you see how Oliver Bentley is like emoting, right? Um, that's what I want the character to be doing, so it kind of shows that you're doing a conversation. I know you guys have seen this. You've all watched 14 content, so you know what I'm talking about, right? Your character is emoting and explaining, but then your voice is like doing a voiceover explaining the thing. I can be the editor because I can edit even when I'm feeling like absolute crap because I'm not camera on. I'm not talking to anybody and it's, very low effort for me. So I can do that anytime. But I just need somebody to do the recording, right? Like I need the footage. So if I can be there, obviously I can do it. But if I can't, somebody else can do it and then just, put it in a Google Drive folder and that way I'll be able to access it. And the thing is trying to come up with, better prompts so that I want to make it as easy as possible because I know what it's like. I've worked with enough. I've been a YouTube coach. Okay. I know what it's like when you've never done something like this before and then boom, you stand in front of the camera and you just freeze. Right. And then like it's really hard for you to, okay, here's an example. I have done how many videos, how many podcasts for years and years at this point. Prolific content creator. 2 years ago, the local news wanted to interview me about the Firebirds hockey team. I forgot like what it was about, but they like, it was like they had the news camera and then the like anchor person like had the mic in my face and I completely froze. Like I had no idea what to say. I was so embarrassed and I was like, I knew someone was going to have to like watch that and edit it and I was so embarrassed. Like it was so embarrassing. So I know what it's like to have the freeze of I have no idea. I am not able to like eloquently explain this. And so that's why I want to make it as easy as possible for for everybody to be able to share their stories because there are some of you, Violet and Church. Okay, you guys are perfect examples. This is not something that is going to be a struggle for you. You've consistently put out the hours and update. Thank you very much for doing that. You can do that right now, right? Like you have that skill. But I would like to get even the people who have never created something before, who are very, very shy, who hate the sound of their voice. Like I want to try to get the diversity of members. And so what I would like to do is try to make it as easy as possible to make it less intimidating to, whatever I could do to lower the barrier of entry and like to reassure you that you stumbling over your words, you saying and like and this, like none of that freaking matters because it just makes it more real. Like it just makes it less AI, which is exactly what we want. We want to it is a unique experience to be able to reflect on something and communicate that. Like that is a hard thing to do and it's not something that everyone gets the opportunity to practice. So, for some people it's easier and for some people it's harder. But what I would like I guess if I were to put a number on it, maybe what I would do is like 20 different members. So it's like not the number of stories, but it's the number of different perspectives that we're sharing. That's what's important to me. Like I have no doubt that I'd be able to very easily, if I told you like, hey, HJP would be able to get a $10,000 donation if we got quote or testimonial or story from every officer, you guys would make that happen in 24 hours, no doubt, right? But it's the more lurker type, the people I don't hear from all the time. That I want those as well, right? It's not that they're more important, but I want those stories as well. Okay. Let's see. This is true. I know, but I feel I never want to I will never ask you to donate your time. I'm just going to tell you what we need and then you can volunteer for it because I never want to boss you around or make you do something you don't want to do. Editing is what killed my YouTube dreams. Yeah, I get it. I mean, there's a reason why I'm going live. Let's see. Did someone saying video editing? Maple, would we want to use the green screen room or use a different existing space, or would you want a new space set up somewhere in the FC house? So that's a very good question. Maple, the thing that I would say to that is the green screen room is really helpful for this type of stuff. Let's see. Like this, right? Actually, this wasn't even in the green screen room. Marky did this one in the green screen room, right? So to be able to get Marky's avatar and have it look really clear on this graphic and have it float on top of this quote in this really cool way, having this picture taken in the green screen room is really helpful for that. But for the videos, right? If you were, do we have a video? Something like this, right? But in 14, right? It actually is helpful to be able to see the beach in front of our free company house, to be able to to graphically show how immersive these environments are. I think that actually adds to it. So what I would say is if you're doing a video testimonial, if you're doing the video version of this, right? Say there was a video version of this. Actually, maybe that's what we should do is just shoot for the video version. Aim to create the video version, and then whatever you say in the video version, we can turn that into a quote, like a text quote that we can use when we talk to donors or put it on our website or whatever. But if you record, and you could also record your own, it doesn't have to be me. If you know how to record, just make your own and send it to me, right? And we'll put it up. But imagine your character talking, and you pick the background, right? I think showing the diversity of the environments in the game, Kat is a perfect example. Okay, so Kat, our board member, boom, let me show. Boop boop boo. Okay. Actually, where is our website? Boom. Bam. Bam boom bam boom bam boom. Boom bam. Nope. Ah, here we go. You see that? Okay. So this is Kat. Okay. She is our board member. I've talked about her many times. We talk basically every other day. And she's been a huge part of helping me brainstorm HJP. But she is a perfect example of the person who is not a gamer, and she doesn't know what a VTuber is, I because for a month ago, I was playing with the idea of creating a VTuber avatar because I've been, I being on camera was something I physically could not do. And so I was like, you know what? I should just do it like Violet and Church do, or create a VTuber avatar. So even when I look and feel like crap, I could still live stream. I'm not thinking about that anymore. But when I said the word VTuber to Kat, who is a YouTuber, who has has a huge, like a successful channel where she runs her own business, does not know what a VTuber is, like has never seen it. That's how huge YouTube is. And it's like, it just shows how, like we can be having completely different experiences. And that's why I actually like running things by her, because she has the non-gamer take, right? Where I kind of test the way that I explain things to her and see how she understands it and like refine from there. So when I explained to her, oh, we did a co-working session in Final Fantasy, she's like, what the hell does that even mean? Like, what does that, she's like, are other people in the game? Like, what does it look like? We know what that looks like because we have played many of these games. But for someone who's never, ever touched these games, it's like, what? I don't even know what they're imagining, right? But I live streamed the co-working session and I sent it to her and she was like, this is incredible. Like she saw the photo shoot that we did, the house tour that, Mabel had done updates to a free company now. She was able to understand, oh, this is what you're talking about. This is cool. This is cool that the people who are here in this room, this digital room, are from different time zones, different walks of life, working on all different kinds of things, from personal to work stuff or whatever. So all that to say, I think if you were to ever do a video testimonial in game, having a different background, a different set, actually kind of like you're kind of communicating something without you're communicating something indirectly that is not like, it's like you have to kind of see it to understand it, right? So long story long, your background could be whatever. Sorry, Mabel, that is a super long answer to your question. If you want to make a cute, like, talk show area, you can, but the point is we don't, it actually would, I think, be in our favor for us to not use the same background for the video ones. Green screen ones, it's different. Yeah, so like, I mean, you guys know, probably don't do it in Ultima Thule just to, avoid spoilers or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know. You guys know what the etiquette is for 14. I know that like my intention is that this content is probably not going to go to 14 people. It's to the people like Kat, right? It's the people like Ecam. Maybe they'll dip a toe in 14 at some point, but most likely not. They're just interested in what's happening, right? So I'm not worried about like spoiling for them or anything like that. Okay. Let's see. It's so weird how easy it is to trip oneself up. I have friends who I've known for years and will literally talk to on Discord, but if he calls on my cell phone to like wish me happy birthday or happy holidays, I'm so awkward for some reason when on the phone, even though it's literally the same thing. Same. Totally same. Like if you told me to do this same talk that I just did for an hour in front of other people, I would just freeze. I would completely I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. Let's see. Violet. Oh my gosh, my brain just went to doing an in-game person on the street interview thing. I think it would be exactly. Thank you. That's a perfect way to kind of explain what I'm trying to describe. We've all seen those interviews, right? The interviewing some random person on the street. That is what I'm like picturing with 14. But the street is in 14 and the person is your final, your warrior of light. Now, what I will say, if you are totally fine with putting your face out there, your real name out there, cool. I never want to force anybody to do that. I respect your privacy first and foremost. So, the convenient thing is that we have video games to be able to still communicate that. I don't think that takes away from the experience. I think it actually enhances it. So I do think that there is, it's like it does both. I like that we have board members that are willing to show their face. I think showing, um, kind of having both. There are people who have done face reveals. I think that is like, okay, if we're using Katten as an example, I think if she were to see pictures, like real pictures of real people complemented with Warriors of Light, I think that would communicate a lot, right? Than just one or the other. Because like social media is full of the real people. And the gaming communities are full of the video game people, but like we want to show how the video game experiences are real. Does that make sense? Okay. That picture of Mark is not size accurate. Way too tall. We wouldn't even have to limit it to FC House. We could always just pick spots in AORZ we like. Exactly. Exactly. And so like, I don't want to task anybody to do this, but like my goal is to post one thing every day to create a tangible, a digitally tangible thing and share it every day. So if that means that you guys, if I have to create the time where we film these video testimonials, great. But if that means that you're recording your own thing at 2 a.m. your time and you just send it to me, that works. If you want to write a blog because you're feeling creative on a Tuesday morning, you just want to send it to me, that works too. Like you don't have to do it at the same time, right? It's just like if this makes it easier for you, great. But like my goal is to be able to just like get the stories out there. Can I do sports reporter and do an after raid interview thingy? That would be awesome. Violet, I have been trying to do that since the last Operation Rising Tide. I actually still have to this day on my desktop a post raid session from Clan Nutsy. I think this was from the summer, but like it was like they had just finished raiding. I went in there and I just asked them like, "Oh, so what's raiding like?" And I recorded that and I did absolutely nothing with it because it was just Discord voices, which is helpful, but I think I really like your interview on the street thing. I think visually that's really fun and interesting. So, yes, you have my permission. Whatever you want to do would be super helpful. Like, part of the mission of HJP is digital creativity. So, like, I trust you guys, especially, Violet, you get it, right? You get it. I trust you. I know that you understand the mission. I know that you have enough direction to be able to like that I trust you kind of thing. So yeah, just go. Totally just go. And I'm so excited to share what you do. Let's see. Main reason I've ever considering making a VTube model if I wanted to ever record myself playing games, so I wouldn't have to do my hair beforehand. Yeah, I mean, this is the best thing I ever did for my brand is to wear a hat because I don't have to worry about the hair. Please do, Maple says to Violet, I've been meaning to do raid interview questions but struggled making it. That sounds great. Yes. There's already sitting areas in the FC that people can pick too, like the mess hall or the reading nook. Yes. Okay, Violet. There's also was it for Ladies' Day last year? I can't remember, but there's like that headpiece that is a headphone thing with a microphone. But I don't know if there's actually a microphone like accessory that you can hold. That would be kind of funny. Yeah, I like it. I want to see what you come up with. Kay remembers what I was talking about. So what are we going to focus more on this ORT? I know last time we did ORTs building the foundation. Now step 2. Yeah, so for this Operation Rising Tide, if I were to summarize it, the time is from today to April 23rd, which is the first day of FanFest. It's just a nice marker. And I think like the reason why I'm choosing FanFest as the deadline is because being able to meet in person is a significant thing for relationships to start online, right? Um, what I would like to do in the future, if I'm dreaming big as the executive director of HJP, is I would like to do more in-person things throughout the year that is not tied to FanFest, right? It's just like, hey, let's do the Texas meetup, and like, everybody who can make it and whatever, and we do an East Coast one and a West Coast one, and we have enough funding to be able to support people, financially support people to be able to go. Um, that is a worthwhile cause to me. So being able to use FanFest as kind of the kickoff to that, to show like, hey, see this stranger in person, right? Like church, okay? I have never seen church in person. I've only seen mostly Hoka, a semibot, and a lethal person. um and a picture, right? But I have spent more time playing games with church than some of my friends in real life. So when we meet up, there's already going to be a shared language. There's going to be inside jokes. There's going to be memories that we can recall. Like, to me, it's just going to, it's like we've already done all the ice breaking. We've already done all of that. And it's just kind of like solidifying this thing that we've already done online, right? And to be able to communicate that, to show that, right? To show pictures of all of us like meeting up in person. I think that is a really good chance to show the realness, right? The meaningful connections. When I say meaningful connections, this is what I mean. We've only met once. But you could tell that we know each other, like we've spent so much time together. We've gotten to know each other. We have created new memories together. Like that's all like meaningful connection to me, right? Whereas if I were to meet a random person on the street today, like it would not be the same, right? So being able to communicate that at FanFest is what I hope to be a um an example of future HJP meetups to come, right? Um I just think it would be a really cool piece to like, if you want to put everything in the context of the World Happiness Report, it's like, imagine if they were to see that, right? It's just social media is harmful, social media is harmful, social media is harmful. But here's this nonprofit organization that only meets digitally and tries to meet up in person whenever they do. And when they do, it's awesome because of the online part, right? They're able, the same way we connect through social media, they're doing this, no, we're not connecting in the same way, but we're using the same tools, right? So sorry, to explain what Operation Rising Tide is, I have to like, let me put it into words. I'll think about it. But the goal is to collect and share stories from HJP members about what HJP is and why it matters. That is however you want to do that. And that's the tricky part, is whenever it's like a whiteboard, a blank sheet of paper, like it's scary it's intimidating because it's just a blank sheet of paper, right? But I feel like once a few of us get a few of these things created, the form will start to take shape, you know? So however you want to do that, I will try to come up with questions. Violet seems to be cooking over there with the person on the street interviews. I love that idea. If you want to write blogs, if you're more comfortable with writing and not doing a voice thing, we've got the co-working session every Wednesday. I'll go ahead and schedule that in. But it would be a really big help. It really, like, I would really want it to be an all hands on deck thing if possible. And I will do whatever I can to support you showing how what HJP, showing like the positive impact of HJP. Let's see. Oakland meetup. Man, I would love to come to FanFest and meet you guys. Sadly, I can't. No worries. A lot of people can't go to Fan. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't know if I can go to FanFest. If FanFest were this week, I wouldn't be able to go. So, my intention is to go, but health wise, I have to build up to that. Yes, Toronto meetup. Oh, 1000%. That would be so cool. Tom and I want to go there pretty soon, so maybe sooner rather than later. Maybe the last ORT day will be around 19th or 20th of April. Heather, since maybe other members are busy packing up to go to FanFest. I mean, it's not like a formal thing. It's not like a, this is a lot more informal than the first Operation Rising Tide. It's more of like, if you want to get things done as an HJP person, as an ADHD person, like having a timeline, having set parameters, having a guideline is like the best way to set up for success. And so that's really what it is. It's not, we've already built the foundation. And if you ask me as an executive director, is HJP achieving its mission? Yes, it is. And it does every day. Like, we don't need to, I never ever set out to be the biggest nonprofit organization ever. That was never my intention. But are we making the world a better place in our own way? Yes, we do that every day. So like my intention is not necessarily to like scale HJP or bring new members in or anything like that. If that happens, awesome. But the thing that I would like to direct the focus and efforts on is to be able to share the stories to the outside world of what's already happening. And that is an all hands on deck thing, because I can explain it from my perspective, but like Violet, to be able to see what you come up with, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like, I'm so excited. You guys could do things in a way that I can't, right? And it like, I think like having different ways to communicate something as simple as like our online gaming friends real, having different ways to answer that question is really cool, right? I think like something will connect to somebody, right? Okay, let's see. Can we just put like a circle dot or like a tiny Holland mic on the interviewees in post? That would be so TikTok Reels realness. Yeah, like this. Holding the thing like this. Or like this. Yeah, I whatever you guys want to do, I'm into it. It's even for me, depending on my mood, I like to write, so there's days where I'm down for the video interview, and there's days where, you know what, like I just need to write something and turn that into a blog post. So whatever you're comfortable with, that's the challenge I'm going to put out to you guys as an HJP member. I would love every person to do one thing where you're sharing your experience in HJP, sharing how HJP has made a positive impact on you. I'll come up with better questions, but yeah. Let's aim for 20. 20. Try to get 20 different members to share something so that we can show the diversity. I'd like to aim for, if we do more, awesome, but let's just try to aim for 20. I like it. Feels like a challenge. Okay, so I need to go eat lunch. But I'm really excited, and I hope you guys can see that, my passion and determination for HJP and what we stand for and what we are an example of is, greater than ever. It's just eternally frustrating that I cannot show up as, to the capacity that I want to, but I don't want that to stop us from doing anything, right? And so I'm trying to work with what I got here. And I just want to, again, thank each and every single one of you for being here, for believing in this thing, and for helping make it come to life. Because, like, I could sit here and talk all day, but, you are the ones who are giving me the feedback, executing the ideas, upholding the values. Like, I could sit here all day and talk to myself, but um, the reason why I have the words to describe it is because I'm just vocalizing what's happening, right? You guys are the magic. So I just want to thank you for, constantly showing up and for being here, and for being a light in the world that I feel like it really needs right now. And being able to amplify that is a thing that I'm so excited to do in whatever capacity I'm able to. So that being said, hopefully in starting today, you can, expect to see me more regularly. I will try my best to start sharing more of the things that I'm thinking about versus keeping them to myself. I've been keeping them to myself because, again, I haven't been able to reliably show up, but, I'm starting to feel better and better. And I know I can rely on you guys. You guys have proven yourselves to be reliable and dependable, and that you believe in this thing. And so I definitely want to delegate. I want to give you all the chance to um to contribute in to contribute to this challenge, right? To like, however you think the answer to this question is, I want to see what you come up with. There is no right or wrong, right? It's just, it's more of like, um something is better than nothing, because if you were, like, right now there's nothing, right? So I just want to be able to see, like, all the different perspectives. Anyway, now I'm just talking in circles. So thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. It might be slow to respond, but again, I'm here. I'm trying. And the first co-working session will be this Wednesday, and then hopefully, I don't know if we have a town hall or an HJP huddle up or whatever, but I do want to hear from you guys. I don't want to be the only one talking. I want to hear from you. So I want to give you the opportunity to do that. I'll try to give you at least a few days notice to do that. Maybe Friday. I remember we used to have our town halls on Friday. So we'll see. But I will keep you guys updated. And with that said, I hope you have an awesome rest of your Sunday and a great week. And I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. See ya. Bye.